Hi everyone, my name is Josh Boudreau, and I'm starting this YouTube channel to try to tell my story. Maybe it'll help, maybe it won't, but I feel I'll put myself out there, put some of my stories out there to maybe touch a couple of you that have gone through what I've gone through, going through what I'm going through, or going to go through what I'm going through. So my story starts off, basically I came from a middle-class family, Southeast LA, Santa Fe Springs, had two parents and a big brother. It was a us four and everything was great. My life suddenly changed January 6, 2000. This day, the cops came to my house, knocked on the door. They wanted to talk to my parents. Okay, thought my brother got in a little bit of trouble, but that wasn't the case. I overheard them telling my parents to go to the hospital to go see my brother. I knew something was wrong, but I had to go to school. So midday, the principal takes me to the hospital and I see both of my parents crying, and I knew my brother had passed away. It was the toughest time of my life. I never experienced anything remotely close to that feeling. The shock, the pain, the hurt, all of the emotions that came at once. It was overbearing at 12 years old, shaking while seeing your brother on a ventilator, not looking like your brother, and having to say that last goodbye. I just saw him the day before. We were supposed to celebrate my dad's birthday. In fact, it was my dad's birthday. That was tough. That's when anxiety became my best friend, but I didn't know it yet. I knew that we were gonna have a long relationship together because my life was forever changed. Going through that pain, seeing my mom the shell that she used to be, seeing my dad impacted, it was the worst decision my brother had made because he wasn't with us anymore. But it was the worst decision for us because we no longer had him, and this path that I would have to walk through would be the longest path I ever had to deal with. Guess what? We kept walking that path. I thought everything was doing better. Started getting really good grades, got into high school, had a 4.5 GPA, just found out I was gonna get into UCLA. My life was about to rocket out of Santa Fe Springs to nice Westwood, where I'd be a somebody, or at least try to be. Well, fast forward to February 14, 2005, 17 years old, just got my acceptance letter, thought it was my ticket for my parents to let me go to my first house party. Well, they let me go to my first house party, and I was excited. Unfortunately, around midnight that day, I get shot 3 times. Talk about a first party, right? My friends that day, they left me in front of the hospital to die. I remember looking from that hospital bed, looking at the clock, counting every second that passed and being thankful to God that I lived another second. It was at that moment, I knew anxiety was gonna be my partner for a while. And he was gonna bring his friends, PTSD and OCD. But I didn't know that because I didn't know those names at that time. But I knew I had to keep on going because my parents were still there. Well, obviously I lived, and I actually went to UCLA and I graduated. Everything was great until the economy dropped and there was no jobs. And hey, I'm not this millennial that complains that there's nothing there and I don't stop. Unpaid internships, dead-end jobs, I had them all. Anything to make a buck to try to get to where I needed to go. Well, that occupied my mind, so did my studies. My master's degree I got while doing these things, that occupied everything. Until I was 25, and I had my first breakdown. That's when I found out who my best friends were, the anxiety, the OCD, the PTSD. They showed me who they were because I went to my first counseling session when I had my first breakdown, when I thought I couldn't live anymore, and I was able to put a name to these feelings I've had forever. It was at that day where I knew that I was gonna start having to tackle these tough things that I have already put into my studies, put into work so that I would never have to deal with them. But that wasn't gonna work anymore because they were out. The anxiety attacks, something I never felt before. The feelings that life was pointless. There was no reason to live anymore because I wasn't getting anywhere. These were things that I now had to face forward. Well, I'm here to tell you that I'm here, and now they're my best friends. And I don't say that to make light of it, but I learned how to live with these things, and I learned how to make them work for me. My story is not unique. My story is nothing special from someone else that have gone through the same thing I have. But I'm trying to make this YouTube page to show you that it can be possible to live with this and be okay. You're not abnormal. You're just a normal person that's been through a lot, or a normal person with a different brain chemistry, but you're gonna be okay. I mean, I went from being suicidal to keeping my career and having relationships and maintaining those relationships. From the very bottoms of not wanting to live anymore to learning how to live with my new best friends. So I'm not any guru, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I'm just a young guy that wants to share his story so that maybe I can help a few of you out there. My name is Josh Boudreau. I'm gonna make a couple videos for you guys documenting what I've been through, how I'm dealing with things, and how you're normal and you're loved, because we're all gonna be there for each other. And this is where you can express yourself, good or bad. No one's here to judge. My name's Josh. Have a good day.